Hi guys, my name is Gordon Smart and this video is brought to you by Govik Sound. Today I'll be doing something a little bit different, and that is understanding who exactly a live sound engineer is. A whole lot of persons do not actually know who exactly a live sound engineer is. So today I'll be talking about the live sound engineer, what he does, who he is, and how he operates, where you can find them. A live sound engineer is basically a producer. Most persons are familiar with producers. Yeah, when you talk about producers, what comes to their head is studio production, right? Studio is, find a producer in a studio. Yeah, now I will explain the two, the producer and a sound engineer, right? Now, a producer, mostly you find a producer, or what you refer to as producers, are basically those persons you find in the studio who sit down on the console, record, balance, mix, and master your tracks and albums and all of that. Most time you say you find them in the studio, right? Yeah, you're actually correct in that. But then a live sound engineer also is a producer. What he does is also production. He also sits down, collects signals, manipulates them, try to balance them and all of that, and then also try to master them in real time. Sound engineer also play a key role. So one of the difference, rather, before I go there, one of the difference between a studio sound engineer or producer and a live sound engineer is studio sound engineers or studio producers actually does production not in real time. Actually, they can record, they have time to sit down, to adjust, to operate and all of that, to change some dynamics and do a whole lot before the final production comes into the public space or comes in for consumption, right? But then a live sound engineer does production in real time. So as the event is unfolding, he is on the console, trying to mix things up, trying to make sure everything is balanced and all of that. So one of the functions of a sound engineer is production. So a sound engineer is also referred to as a producer, right? But the difference is a live sound engineer produces sound in real time, and a studio sound engineer is opposite. All right, so that one. Also, a sound engineer does a whole lot in live concerts. A sound engineer, you can find them in different places. Before I get there, where you can find a live sound engineer, a sound engineer also does sound design in live settings, right? So I'll explain this. Now, a live sound engineer sits down to design sound. He carries out simulation and does the acoustic. Okay, you have an acoustic engineer, but then he works together hand in hand with the acoustic engineers to evaluate the room, your room, to be able to tell what kind of sound suits your room and all of that. So a live sound engineer does audio design. Okay, he designed your sound system or how you to operate it and advise you on what to do. All right, so one of another major function of a sound engineer is sound designing. He designs your sound, right? Okay, so the next thing he does is he coordinates. A sound engineer coordinates all forms of musical instrument once it has to do with a live performance. Okay, so it coordinates your guitar, he coordinates your guitar, your drums, and all of that. Okay, that's fine. All right, so a live sound engineer does a whole lot. There's a saying most in the field, in the audio space, that says just as the instrumentalist plays their musical instruments, so do the live sound engineer plays the entire band. Yeah, so the live sound engineer plays the entire band. That is, he mixes it, he tries to understand and try to prioritize things, try to just make you the listener have a general feel of the entire band, right? He tries to create a balance between every vocals, from the BVJs to the instrumentalist to the lead and all of that, right? That is live performance settings. In the DJ settings, where you have the hype man, you have the talking drums, you have the percussions and stuff like that. will also he also tries to balance. So basically, in a layman's term, you would say he tries to balance. So you don't have something like, okay, the drum is louder than the keyboard, or the keyboard is louder than the drums, or the vocals is louder than the instrumental is, or the instrument is louder than the vocals. So a live sound engineers try to factor all of this into place and then tries to balance everything. So at the end of the day, right in your churches, your event centers, your whatsoever, your live concert and all of that, you have that full, comprehensive, balanced audio production, right? So that is what a live sound engineer does. Another thing a live sound engineer does is he tries to manage and monitor the equipment that are running in real time. Yeah, he works with a whole lot of equipment ranging from amplifiers to speakers to sound processing equipment to musical instruments and all of that. So a live sound engineer tries to get all of these, runs with them, and try to balance all of these at the same time, making sure that each of these equipment run efficiently and effectively, not overstressing any of this equipment, right? So a live sound engineer actually does a whole lot. A live sound engineer also bridges the gap between the producer or the manufacturers of equipment and the users of this equipment. So a live sound engineer most times are usually trained from the manufacturing firm and other sectors to be able to operate this equipment. Basically, a live sound engineer studies a lot, they read up a lot, and this job really comes with a whole lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of skill to be acquired in order to become a professional live sound engineer. So next time when you stumble across any live sound engineer, please stay back to give them a kudos and say hello to them, because this is a whole lot. Alright, so where can you find a live sound engineer? A live sound engineer can be found in a church, a live sound engineer can be found in a club, a live sound engineer can be found a gig, a music concert, and stuff like that, where you have live production of any sound setup, right? A live sound engineer, you will find them there. But basically, you find them mostly in the church, and of course, event centers, clubs, and stuff like that, and those kind of events. That is where you can find a live sound engineer. It is very important to note that live sound engineering or audio engineering comes with a whole lot of pressure. Yeah, it comes with a whole lot of pressures, because you're trying to make sure you satisfy the instrumentalists, you're trying to make sure you satisfy your audience, you're trying to make sure you satisfy, in this contemporary age, you satisfy the online view and all of that. So it comes with a whole lot of pressure. At the same time, I'm trying to monitor the equipment, trying to make sure you don't get anything damaged at the cost of your operation. So this job actually comes with a whole lot of pressure, with a whole lot of skill that is required to be a live sound engineer. Alright, so next time when you see a live sound engineer in your church, it's at your event centers or wherever, please take a little time to appreciate them, because trust me, this comes with a whole lot of pressure and all of that. So next time we will be next video I will be explaining certain dynamics that comes with the audio in the audio field. Thank you once again for watching, and I remain your boy Gordon Smart, and this video is brought to you by Govik Sound. Thank you, and God bless you. Peace out, guys.